The Kaibab National Forest in northern Arizona brings in hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. They come to fish, hike, bike, and many come to hunt. And even though hunting season is a ways off, as Cronkite News reporter Jodi Guerrero explains, people will have an easier time retrieving their big game this year.
Hunting season for big game doesn't start until the fall. But when it does, hunters in the Kaibab National Forest will be able to go up to a mile off-road to pick up illegally killed elk, bison, or mule deer. This comes after a federal court ruled earlier this year in favor of the Forest Service's plan to do this.
The court ruling will make it clear that that is a acceptable practice that should continue on all the forests.
Arizona Game and Fish Commissioner Kurt Davis says the ruling does create a challenge.
The difficulty with our current system is each forest does their own rules, and those rules often vary from one forest to another, including for like camping. Some forests 30 feet off the road, some forests 300 feet off the road.
The court ruling states hunters must use the most direct and least ground-disturbing route, only once in and once out. And that's what the Sierra Club and other environmental groups took issue with. Sandy Barr leads the Sierra Club's Grand Canyon chapter. She says the decision opens the door for people to abuse the land.
And so they drive out to get the elk, but then another person comes along and they see the tracks, and especially if it's muddy or something. So you've got the vegetation, and then pretty soon another person, and then you have a road. And then, more habitat fragmentation.
Barr says for these rules to actually be followed, there must be someone to enforce them at all times. The case goes back to 2005. That's when the Forest Service created rules for road use in parts of the Kaibab National Forest. The new rules actually reduce the miles of road that are open to off-roading and limit it for hunters. In Phoenix, Jodi Guerrero, Cronkite News.
The U.S. Forest Service said in an email they won't comment on court opinions or proceedings.